So the Bible says, judge a tree by its fruit.
Mm.
I've never seen a perfect tree. I've never seen a symmetrical tree. So it's not the perfection.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the performance of, I have it all together and I look well. It doesn't say the trunk, which tells you how old the tree is.
Mm-hmm.
Now, trees give off life, they give off oxygen. And it doesn't say by the leaves, which tells you which season it's in or how much life it gives. You can be the life of the party. But the Bible says, judge a tree by its fruit,
Wow.
what it produces. You can be the life of the party, but are you producing? And are you helping people to produce? That is the goal. The goal is growth. If the goal is growth, are we producing and are we helping people to produce? And pressure is inevitable.
Yeah.
It's not if, it's when.
Are you pretty much saying that the identity that a leader takes on and what you like to teach is that you lean into problems because leaders solve problems. We don't run away from pressure. That's the whole reason we're here. The more value you add to your team, your organization, your business, that's what sets you apart from your competition.
That's a great question. So I see leadership as lending and leaving. So I'm lending you information. I'm lending you insight. I'm lending
Mm.
you credibility, but as a lender, I want it back with interest. And my interest in you is for you to be developed. So the difference between information and insight is information is text and insight is context. Oh, this is good. It's seeing in between what is being said. So if I'm teaching and I'm trying to help and I am trying to build someone to handle purpose, for them to handle the project, for them to handle what's before them under pressure,
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving you information. I'm giving you insight, which is the nuance.
Wow.
The information is taking notes, but the insight is the nuance. If I'm giving you the nuance, I see what you said, but I'm telling you, if you go about it this way, you may run into this. I'm giving you the navigational moments that can help you to save time. Then I've extended you credibility for me to leave. So if I'm lending you this and I'm leaving you with this so you can actually produce in it,
Mm-hmm.
we've just produced a producer and not a performer. That's what leadership is. We should be producing producers,
That's the whole point. I love that.
not producing potential, not producing performers.
Wow.
I'm leading you and leaving you with this so that you can lead with it. That's why I'm intentional with the investment. That's why I'm intentional with empowerment. That's why I'm intentional
Mm.
because of this conversation that this person came to me with. I am taking back my life. I said, that sounds great, man. But I already have mine. Mine's already belongs to me. The Bible says, owe no man nothing but love. I'm not in debt to you. You're not in debt to me. You owe me nothing. I said to this person, this individual should not owe you anything right now. I was honest with this individual because I believe this person was making decisions for some sense of approval,
Mm-hmm.
of acceptance.
Wow.
And I believe this individual felt like their identity was wrapped in working and doing
Wow.
more so than stopping and lending and leaving. So when you lend in your leadership, you lighten the load. Just because you can do it does not mean you should. There are some things I can actually do and I can build. but I choose not to because I'm robbing somebody else for the opportunity to work under pressure so that they can
Mm.
produce here and then they can produce in the next phase, stage,
Yeah.
or position in their life. Because destiny is not something you arrive at, it's something that you're positioned in. So if you're positioned in that position for that season and you haven't been under pressure, and you haven't been processed under pressure, we're able to drive gas operated vehicles today because of pressure.
Mm. What do you mean?
There were dinosaurs. That's where fossil fuels come from. So when
Eh.
they died and the pressure that was applied on top of them for years, over time produced oil that we now use for gasoline. So the pressure that we are facing today, it's producing oil for our future opportunities. It's not missed that the dinosaurs were the size they were. Based on the economical outlay of who we are and what we need to produce now.
That's
So
crazy.
sometimes the seismic pressure, it's only to produce an excellent expression when you're presented or you're positioned into your promotion.
Wow. That's crazy. Because I actually just read an article. It was a leadership article that was saying that leaders actually build neurons faster in their brains, the patterns for mental resilience
Mm-hmm.
because of the emotional intensity attached to the experience that they're in. When you're functioning under the emotional intensity, it actually helps to create a pattern or restructure your brain so that now you're functioning out of your subconscious and not your
Wow,
conscious.
that's really good.
And so now uh, all the pressure or the experiences that you've been in as a leader, now it becomes second nature a lot faster than someone who, is not constantly in that. So you actually develop quicker as a leader mentally.
I really love that. So a lot is going on, and you walk into the room, and if it's chaotic, you're calm, ready to implement solutions as needed.
Wow.
And I think I heard you say this before. It just becomes the norm because people will ask you, like, why are you not bothered? And then you being unbothered actually creates a conversational piece. So you don't have to target people for being bothered. You being calm actually creates conversations for building moments. Like you don't have to solicit change or you don't have to solicit people to not be bothered or to have emotional stability. Your calmness can be so attractive, people will start asking you questions.
Wow. Wow.
And then in those moments, it turns into moments for momentum. Like you can actually lend some information and you can leave them with it. And leaders also lean because the higher you go, the more flexible you have to be. I love building, I love skyscrapers. And one day I was driving downtown in Chicago and I saw the Sears Tower moving. And I said, I'm calling the police. I don't know if I should call the
Those
police.
people are in
What
danger.
is the emergency number to call? But before I did, I went to Google and I said, why is this Sears Tower moving? And the response in the study, the quick study that I did, it was because if it was stiff, it would break under pressure. I said, wow.
Mm.
So they built these skyscrapers with like flexi core type of infrastructures, and it's more different now because of technology has changed. They actually put dampers in the building to withstand the brunt force of different weather for different climates. And the higher you go, the more flexible you have to be. So I land, I leave, and I lean. So the architectural outlay and design and makeup is so that the building can survive under pressure. So the higher you go, the more flexible you have to be.
Wow.
So I land, I leave, and I lean.
You can't forget that one. I love that.
So under pressure, how do we as leaders, as individuals, help people by lending them information. Extending insight, which goes beyond information. It's the nuance. It's the navigating in between, more than just having text, but it's the context and extending credibility.
Wow.
Actually empowering people so that they can be actualized and activated, so they can be optimized with optimum outcomes. And do I do my due diligence by leaving them with it? Being tough but not tyrannical,
Mm-hmm.
and expecting a return on investment based on them producing. Not to just produce, but to produce producers. Because if I just produce, it's about me. Ooh, when the M turns, me turns to we.
We. Wow.
When the M turns, it's not about me. I produce producers.
This is extremely impactful.
Leaders, we should lend. We should leave, and we should lean. This has been We Have a Problem podcast. I'm Charles Hall, and this is my babe.
Diamond Hall.
Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.